say that I am a member of the Independent Party, and the topic today is Benghazi. I have some facts and I have some opinion, and I'd like some feedback at the end. These are a few facts that I've discovered. There was a email sent April 2012 and June 2012 from the ambassador Chris Stevens that was in Libya for extra security. It became non-responsive. No one ever responded to his call for help. And then on September 11th of 2012, the ambassador obviously was killed and the embassy was under attack. At first, the Obama administration had came out and said that it was over some kind of movie. An American person made a movie about an anti-Islamic religious person, something like that, and they didn't know anything else. It ends up that recently the State Department has found out that there was an email sent from Chris Stevens, who's the ambassador out there, to the White House 20 minutes after the attack, saying that they were under attack and they needed help. And Ambassador Stevens went into a safe room for 8 hours waiting for military help, and it never came, and he ended up dying. I don't understand why Obama would have lied about saying that it was about some kind of movie or something, unless it's a political reason. Obviously, maybe he didn't want to have an attack on his term right before an election. There was also some speculation about on September 15th that Mr. Obama came out and called it a terrorist attack. I went online and I found his exact words, and I'll quote when he was in the Rose Garden with Hillary, that he said that there are no acts of terror will ever shake the resolve of this great nation. He didn't say it was a terrorist attack. He says it was an act of terror, and it was just a play on words. Actually, 7 days later, he went on David Letterman and said he was still playing up this, that it was a protest type of thing. And I don't know if anybody knows about David Letterman. David Letterman's probably the most liberal people, especially in New York City. And Letterman came out on about 3 or 4 shows later on his show and said that he doesn't feel that it was necessary for the president to lie, that he wanted the candidate that's running for president to lie more than the president, and that he was disappointed. I got to tell you, though, that Hillary Clinton stepped up in this situation and took responsibility the morning before the second debate. I wasn't a big fan of Hillary up to the Obama administration. She did an excellent job as Secretary of State. I believe she visited 112 nations in the last 4 years, and to step up like this, I really respect that. And if she decides to run in 2016, depending on what her platform is, I would actually consider her to become the first female president. But in all fairness, Mr. Obama, the night of the debate, was asked by Candy, the moderator, how did he feel about Mrs. Clinton stepping up? And he said that actually he feels that he's her boss and that he would take responsibility. During the VP debate, President Joe Biden had said that Ryan did not vote for the extra spending for the U.S. embassies across the country, which is absolutely true. Biden was correct with that. I actually did a little research, though, and the reason why that Ryan didn't agree with the extra security for the embassies across the world is because, once again, the Obama administration didn't want to pay for it, and they wanted to take another credit card out from China and add to the deficit to have these security upgrades in these embassies instead of cutting spending somewhere else to help pay for this. Who I really feel bad for is a guy named Charles Woods, who's the father of one of the Navy SEALs that were killed in Benghazi. He's starting to find information out himself through the State Department. He's asking a lot of questions because obviously his son died. What's amazing thing about his son, his name is Tyrone, is that his son wasn't even assigned to the embassy. He heard about the ruckus not too far from him and said that he called his command and said, listen, I want to go and help. And they denied. They told him to stand down. And him and his partner, another Navy SEAL, ran to help the people in the embassy. That is a true hero. They also found that there were true drones that were actually photographing this live, and there was a live feed right into the White House. And they had told the command that they had a laser on them and that they were going to point the laser at these people that were attacking the embassy and have the drone pinpoint the laser and launch a missile. The White House denied them the go-ahead, which is pretty sad. But this is the problem with our political system. No Democrat will just say, yes, President Obama fucked up. He made the wrong call that night. It's okay that if he made the wrong call, just as long as he steps up to the plate and says, it was my mistake. He is human after all. To lie and say it was based on some movie and then after the fact blame his intelligence committee, saying that the CIA gave him the wrong information. For me, it doesn't matter if it was President Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Obama. It doesn't matter. The situation was wrong. 4 Americans died that night, and it could have been helped. Could you imagine if you were the ambassador waiting for military help from a plan that was already put in place, and no one ever comes, and you gave up. You tried to do the right thing by your country, but your country just didn't do the right thing by you. And this is what I'm saying about voting on party lines. If you had a family member that was in Benghazi that night and died, and you were a Democrat or a Republican, and whoever the incumbent was, it doesn't matter, would you still vote for them? You would still vote for these people who had your people killed, had your family member killed? It's unbelievable how the parties are so loyal to each other. I spoke to an Obama supporter recently at my job. We go back and forth a little bit, kind of friendly. He actually said to me that at least it wasn't 30,000 Americans. Obviously, he's implying George Bush and the war in Iraq, which I didn't support, by the way. But that's no justification. 30,000 Americans, 4 Americans, both presidents, Bush and Obama, were wrong. Charles Woods which is the father of the Navy SEAL who died, had recently met with the President of the United States. You could find this information online if you do not believe me. And he said that he felt that Mr. Obama was disconnected from the situation, that he was just there because he's the president and he felt like he had to do. Joe Biden, of course, was being a typical Joe Biden and told the father that his son had a pair of balls the size of pool cues. I don't know if that's very comforting, but that is Mr. Biden, that he just acts that way. The only thing that Mr. Woods said is that Mrs. Clinton was extremely sorry and sat with the family for an hour or so, offering her condolences and promised him that they would find the people that did this to his family. The last thing I want to say, which I'm probably going to end everything like these blogs like this, is vote for a person, not a party. I can't express that anymore. I can't see how these people are so loyal to their parties. Meanwhile, their parties are not loyal to them. I would like you to thank you for your time and watching this video. And I'd like some feedback. The last video I got some feedback, and I'm sorry, I'm still new at this, so I say a lot and all, but I'm working on it. Thank you for your time, and please give me as much feedback as you want. Thank you.